She never expected that one night at her cousin's home would change everything. Jessica was excited as she packed her bag for her cousin's house. She had not seen her cousin, Emily, for a long time, and this weekend was going to be a fun break from school. Her parents reminded her, "Be careful, Jessica. Emily lives in a big house, and it can get dark at night. Stay close to your cousin." "I will, Mom," Jessica promised. The drive was long but beautiful. They passed green fields, small shops, and quiet streets. Finally, they arrived at Emily's home, a large, old house surrounded by trees and flowers. Emily ran to meet Jessica at the gate. "Jessica, I'm so happy you're here," she exclaimed, hugging her tightly. Jessica smiled. "I'm happy too. Your house is beautiful." The first few hours were filled with laughter. They explored Emily's home, played board games, and talked about school, friends, and hobbies. Everything felt normal, happy, and safe. As evening came, Jessica noticed the house felt quiet in a different way. The walls seemed taller, and the shadows from the trees outside grew longer. Emily's parents were busy in the kitchen, so the girls stayed in the living room. Jessica asked, "Emily, why does it feel so quiet tonight?" Emily shrugged. "I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's late." They decided to watch a movie in the living room. The lights were dim, and the flickering screen made the shadows dance across the walls. Jessica felt a little nervous, but she laughed it off. After the movie, Emily suggested, "Do you want to explore the garden? It's full of flowers at night. It looks magical." Jessica hesitated. "Are you sure it's safe?" "Of course," Emily said confidently. "We'll just walk around. Don't worry." The girls went outside. The moonlight made the garden glow, and the night air was cool and fresh. They walked slowly, talking and laughing. Suddenly, Jessica thought she heard a noise coming from the bushes. "What was that?" Jessica whispered. Emily smiled. "Probably just a cat. Don't be scared." Jessica nodded but kept looking around nervously. After a while, they returned to the house. Jessica felt safer inside, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was unusual. That night, when they went to bed, Jessica couldn't sleep. She kept hearing small creaks from the wooden floor and distant sounds from the garden. She tried to tell herself it was normal, but the feeling of unease stayed. Suddenly, she heard a soft whisper, "Jessica." Her heart raced. She looked around the dark room. Emily was asleep beside her, and the door was closed. Jessica held her blanket tightly. Was it a dream? She whispered to herself. The next morning, she tried to talk to Emily about the strange sounds, but Emily laughed. "You were imagining things. The house is old, and it makes noises at night." Jessica nodded, but she wasn't entirely convinced. She decided to be more alert that night. The rest of the day was normal. They played in the garden, helped Emily's parents with small chores, and had dinner together. But as night fell, Jessica felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She couldn't predict what would happen tonight at her cousin's home. That night, Jessica lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Every creak of the wooden floor and whisper of wind outside made her heart race. She wished she could be braver, but she also didn't want to seem childish in front of Emily. Suddenly, she heard it again, a soft whisper, like someone calling her name. "Jessica." She held her blanket tightly, her eyes wide. "Who's there?" she whispered, her voice trembling. There was no answer. She took a deep breath, reminding herself that it was just an old house making noises. Slowly, she got out of bed, careful not to wake Emily. She walked to the door and opened it slightly. The hallway was dark, but she could see the outline of the furniture and the moonlight streaming through the windows. She tiptoed toward the living room to check if something was there. As she entered, she noticed a shadow moving near the window. Jessica froze. "Hello?" she called softly. To her relief, it was just a cat. It had sneaked in through a small opening in the garden door. The cat meowed and jumped onto the couch, looking at her curiously. Jessica laughed nervously. Oh, it's just a cat. She felt her heart calm a little. She closed the door and returned to her room, feeling proud for facing her fear. Emily was still asleep, unaware of the small adventure Jessica had just experienced. The next morning, the girls shared breakfast and talked about the night. Jessica explained what had happened. Emily laughed softly. See? I told you, old houses are full of surprises, but nothing scary. That cat probably caused all the noises you heard. Jessica smiled. I guess you're right. It wasn't as scary as I thought. I just let my imagination run wild. The rest of the weekend was peaceful. The girls played in the garden, helped their parents, and enjoyed their time together. Jessica realized that even though she had felt scared, she had learned to be brave and curious. Before leaving, Jessica hugged Emily tightly. Thank you for letting me stay. I had so much fun. Emily smiled. I'm glad you came. And don't worry, the next time you visit, maybe we'll have another small adventure. On the way back home, Jessica thought about that night. She realized that life sometimes feels mysterious or even frightening, but most fears are smaller than they seem. Facing them helps you grow and become braver. Jessica returned home with a happy heart, ready for school and excited to tell her friends about her experience. She also kept a small memory of that night, a lesson in courage, curiosity, and facing the unknown, even in the familiar comfort of her cousin's home.